You watch out for these people though. They try to use the water to curse people. So and there was more. I think it was Anna Nicole. And then some of them they try to pass it off as okay they were just OD'd on drugs and they always throw a lot. They always throw don't believe the fake news. You know what I'm saying? They always try to give a fake excuse and say okay who was a fighter? My man Kimbo Slice. I don't know what he did, but Kimbo Slice, you know what I'm saying? He was a beast. I seen on one of his last fights, he looked kind of, what I'm saying, out of it. But then they try to say, okay, he died from taking drugs and all this other stuff. Yeah, we ain't buying none of that stuff, man. We know they are spewing curses at people, and you gotta just watch out, watch your ears, watch what you listen to. You know what I'm saying? I got devils outside my window right now, yelling out in the middle of the streets, acting like they talking to somebody else when they really trying to throw some curses at me. But I'm overstanding them right now. If I want to go out there and punch them in the face and act the fool. So and then jail is another thing where what I'm saying, like I said, Pimp C came out of jail and he I guess he didn't go through their program the way that they wanted him to. You know what I'm saying? And ODB was another one. ODB went he went to jail. When he came out, I guess they said he wasn't the same ODB because what I'm saying, they showed him the truth. They try to show him who they were. They try to expose. They try to open up his third eye and everything. But then they say but then they what I'm saying, he didn't accept it the way they wanted him to. So, and they try to work with him. They try to get him to do another album. Pharrell was in the studio working with the man and everything. And eventually they just said, okay, well, I guess ODB wasn't the same ODB, and then they try to say he OD'd on drugs, but ODB wasn't taking nobody's drugs, man. So just watch for them trying to sneak it in, and it's all through the day. It's not just while you're doing the thing. It's all through the day. I don't really know if you should respond, you know, back to it. Mostly, I would say don't try to put it up for debate because all you gotta do is know thyself. Who said that? Confucius. Know thyself is all you have to do. Know thyself. So once you know who you are and you know your power and you know where you're heading, anything else anybody else says is just trash. So really, I don't know if you. I know I think they teach their people to respond to the bullshit and shoot it down. Like, don't let that shit fly around. Now, for me, I would say probably just don't put it up for debate. I don't know. All you gotta do is speak positive about yourself. Like I'm saying, you don't really necessarily have to respond to them, um, because if you do, if you think about it, if you're responding to everything they're doing and they coming at you all day with 100 different people and it's just one of you, you won't even have time to live your life. You'll be too busy just always fighting them, and that's a tactic of war. You know what I'm saying? Where they skirmish with you, a small army would skirmish with you, just to get you to use your energy. Attacking them, and then when the real army comes in, then now you're too tired from skirmishing with these fools all day. You know what I'm saying? When they had no intention of really killing you, they just wanted you to use up your bullets and wanted you to use up your time and your energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to watch out for. You can't just every battle isn't to be fought immediately. And please, people, y'all stop going crazy out there, man. This shit ain't nothing crazy to this shit. It's just no, we're all the same. We all normal. We all out here, and we all, what I'm saying. And so as far as the celebrities that they done took out, I mean it's too many to name. You know what I'm saying. We ain't even gonna get into all of that. But you could look that up all through YouTube to see how many things. But this is as far as I know. What I'm saying, I, this is what I'm saying, the facts that you might only know while you're going through that issue, but then you're all isolated and you're by yourself, and uh, then it's like shit. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to force you to make decisions when you're in control of your destiny. So just take control of yourself and stop letting people try to, don't don't be gullible. Be free. be strong-minded and have control over yourself. Discipline yourself. Yeah, they're gonna claim drug use and this and that and da da da. Basically, it all comes down to the curses that they spew at you all day. That you could overstand, with a sleight of hand, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Um, that also includes when you eat and things like that too. So yeah, watch out for the people talking around you. Also, like I said, watch out for anything you hear on the TV, the radio, any kind of media that's playing around you at that time. Um, I don't want to make people like paranoid, but it seems like this is the way that it works. And if it doesn't work like that, if you're immune to that, I want you to be immune to it. I want everyone to be immune and desensitized to it if it doesn't affect you. But if it's true, I don't know how to say it. If it's true, then you should be aware of it. You open your third eye, and let's battle these bastards, man. Simple as that. Because it's basically like I really just don't want to perpetuate something that may be a lie. Something that really doesn't apply to somebody. I don't want to make it apply to you if it's something that's gonna just be a burden to you. But either way, whether it applies or not, the remedy is to like the song they had back in the days that everybody knows on "Singing in the Rain." You know what I'm saying? Whenever you do any kind of action, you just speak positive over your life continually. Whether it's any positive song you're listening to, or just speak something positive over yourself. At least if you're just gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? So you know, religions they pray before they do a lot of actions. You just speak something positive over yourself when you do your everyday actions. Simple as that. There was another cliche. People that sing in the shower. That's supposed to be like a thing. People always sing in the shower. Da da da. Maybe there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? But bottom line is, what I'm saying, just speak the positive. When you speak your positive, they can't attack you with their bullshit that they're spewing around in the air. You're immune to other people's bullshit words when you speak your truth, when you speak your positive truth. And or maybe you could just make up any remedy you want. Who knows how this thing really works? So just trial and error. Just see what works for you. If it works for you, there you go. That's it. Now there have been people who thought that they were messing with their food. They thought their food was being messed with and stuff like that. Um, Basically, what I'm saying, just watch out for mind games. That's all I'm gonna say. Just watch out for the mind games. That's the main thing. Also, another attack that they may use is once they. This all goes back to Pavlovian. If you study Pavlov in his scientific studies he did on dogs and whatnot, how he conditioned people. He conditioned animals, and I'm pretty sure they did it with people after. Well, he did it with people, I think. Um, they condition people to respond to certain king bells, whistles, and whatever thing. So these people, oh man, this is the crazy thing. They'll do something as simple as emphasize the S when in people's speech, like something like that. So if they can condition you enough to where that annoys you and that's a pet peeve, then what I'm saying, like I said, everybody you see them doing that. But then another thing they do is this is one, I think they use this on Marcus Garvey. If you study Marcus Garvey, you'll know that he after he got into it with the United States government, they kicked him out and sent him to Jamaica, and then they had stories of him getting harassed by. He said he was getting harassed by children and stuff. That's another thing, what I'm saying. They just control these children like puppets and stuff. What I'm saying. Once you get to a certain age where you could actually comprehend this stuff, then you can get control back over yourself. Um, but yeah, then he wanted to move into England and stuff like that. but then he said he still had some problems or whatever. But another thing they do is they use loud noises and stuff to try to induce heart attacks or something like that. Or even they could use bad news, like in Marcus Garvey's case, they gave him a paper while he was already suffering in the hospital. And they gave him a paper, and I don't know if it was just somebody printed up some story or whatever and say how nobody really cared about Marcus Garvey anymore, even though he was this big leader in America that almost changed the whole game for Black America during the 20s or whatever. And they gave him this story about, oh, no one cared about Marcus Garvey no more, and then they said that's what induced his heart attack or something like that. So bad news. And then, like I said, they use loud bangs and noises. You just hear a boom coming out of nowhere, and for everybody else it'll probably be normal. You're gonna be like, okay, boom, oh, some firecrackers went off or whatever, this, that, and third. It's not really something. But for certain people that they condition already, it kind of make them, fidgety or jumpy or some shit. So it's I, I might do a video later on how to get the signs of who's actually going through this. That's something I need for myself because I want to know who's the people who's going through this and who's the people who's actually doing this stuff, and so I could tell the difference and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then there's a lot of imposters out there. A lot of imposters that are pretending to be victims beyond these things. On that's definitely not me. There's a lot of imposters out there, and I could tell most of them. That out there just pretending to be victims and making these videos and where they try to they try to act like they on your side, and then they spew some poison in there a little bit at a time to try to, that's how they do, and mix the truth with the lie and some other crap. So watch out. If all these attacks are just meant to punish the weak or the non-aggressive type people, or just to try to conform them to get them to act right or act the way that these people want them to act. Um, and I'm not sure what their motives are. Truthfully, at least for each individual. But what I can say is a lot of people have given up their current life, their flesh and their life, and now, and no one actually really dies, anyways. Just so you know, nobody dies. Souls are eternal. We keep going on and forth. It's just that these people think that they're the recycle team and they could recycle people and start people over and stuff like that. I say everybody should be in charge of their own destiny. That's why we're gonna give you knowledge of self here, and when you know who you truly are, then you could control your destiny and stop letting others, what I'm saying, just mold people however they feel they want to mold people. Now, when people's third eye is closed and they look at all this stuff, they see the source of their plight as just consequences, coincidences. Then they just, that's the vision of somebody whose third eye isn't open. But when you realize that it comes from the spirits of dead people that you may know or not, and from uh, the living people around you, then you say, it's a whole new ball game basically. So if it was supposed to be there as a lesson to teach you a lesson, let's say all this plate that they're throwing at you is to teach you a lesson. Um, it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to see your own flaws when you see people doing mischievous things and vile things